guys, Kimble here. First of all, wow. I have had an absolute influx of new subscribers, so I'm really excited about that. Welcome to everyone who's just subscribed to me, and thanks for being here. I hope you like what you'll see on this video, on this channel even. And oh, by the way, I get my words wrong a lot. I stumble over my words. I don't edit my videos because, well, apart from, you know, putting on my openings and closings, simply because I think that you deserve to get me unedited. If you were with me in person, you wouldn't see the edited version of me, so I don't edit my videos on YouTube either. The only one I've ever edited was my very first one, the one where I did a day in Glastonbury, and the only reason I edited that was because it was too long. At the time I only had a 15-minute limit on my YouTube videos, and I didn't know how to lift it at the time because it was my first YouTube channel, and so I had to fit a whole day's worth of stuff into two 15-minute slots, and it didn't really work. So obviously that was edited. So yeah. That being said, here I am, unedited and live from the witchy room. Well, not live, but you know what I mean. And yeah, so to my new subscribers, thank you for being here. Ember, Honey Raven, I saw your video. I'm glad you got the love mail, and I'm really glad you loved everything in it. I really enjoyed putting the package together for you. It's really nice, actually. There's something very magical almost about putting together a package for someone and they don't know what they're going to receive, and it's quite nice to do that. So it really did feel like I was preparing a very special gift for you, so I'm glad that you got that, and I'm glad that you loved everything. It was really, really nice, and thank you for all your lovely comments as well. I've only been on YouTube, well, I don't even think it's a year yet. It's not especially long, so to have this number of subscribers and this much interest in what I'm doing at this point is pretty much blowing my mind. So thank you to everybody, and thank you, Ember, for your little shout out and for your video. It was really nice to see you smiling and enjoying everything that I'd sent to you, so that was great. This video I wanted to show you some stuff that I'm doing at the moment. One thing that I offer on my Etsy shop are tarot readings, and there's a reason for that. They're very reasonably priced. They're only £5 if you're in the UK. I think they were £5. They're not much more than that, and I don't think that works out at about, I guess, $7, $8 if you're in America. Obviously readings are worldwide, and they're not face to face. They're done in private, in sacred space, and then I email you the reading. The reason for that is I'm teaching myself to read intuitively. The only reason I charge for my readings is because it's an energy exchange. Yes, I am learning, but I have read tarot for a number of years. Yeah, I admit that I used to use some of the book meanings where I was stuck, but these days, you know, my witchy practice is calling me to learn to read intuitively, which is currently what I'm working on. Hence the very, very small charge. You're not charging for the reading per se. If anything, you're just charging for my time typing up the reading and emailing it to you. The reading itself is my practice time. And I hope people understand that. It's genuinely not about the money, and I would give them away for free if I could, but I have no way to offer free readings. The only thing I have is my Kimble Witchery website. I may offer free readings in the future, we'll see, but for now, plus I'm broke, so what's the harm in asking a little money for my time? So the reason I made this video is I wanted to show you some of my tarot decks. I don't have a great deal, she says, looking at her bookshelf. I have mostly oracle decks, to be honest, and only a couple of what you might call traditional tarot. I do have the Rider-Waite deck. That was the first one I started with. However, I didn't really get on with that. I found that, well, I do get on with it, but I think most people will understand that, you know, when you're a tarot reader, you sort of go through phases of which deck is calling to you at a particular time. Excuse me. And at the moment, the Rider-Waite isn't doing it for me. I wanted something with different symbolism that I could interpret differently. So I picked out the 3 decks that I'm feeling drawn to at the moment, and I thought I would show them to you. The first one, and you can tell this is my most used deck because I made a little tarot box for it. I should paint this really, I just haven't got around to it yet. Just open this up. Okay, so this is The Witch's Tarot by, I think it's Alan Duggan, or Dugan, something like that. This is The Witch's Tarot. I actually was drawn to this just on a random Amazon search. Every now and again I go on Amazon and on other spiritual shop websites and have a look at the tarot decks they have and just the general pagan stuff. And I thought the artwork on this stuff really, really pretty. So, why is the light so bad? Oh, short turn my desk around, you're not going to get much better light. I do apologise. Hopefully you can still see me. So yeah, anyway, The Witch's Tarot. I feel really drawn to this. I've only used it a handful of times, but the times I have used it have been really good. The backs of the cards are just phenomenal. I love the idea of the triple goddess, you know, out of the moons, just floating in space like that. It's just, it pulls together for me what the goddess is about, and the goddess guides our hand whenever we're divining. So that's the back of the cards. I want to just pick a couple of cards to show you because they're all so nice. I don't really have a favourite, but let's just have a look. Well, this one is the Empress. And I just think the artwork on that is just so gorgeous. And for me anyway, artwork with this level of detail is just enough. I can't look at the tarot card where there's 7 million kinds of symbolism going on. At this point in my tarot reading, for my ability, that's a little too challenging. So to have beautiful artwork that is symbolic and has layers of meaning, but not too many, is perfect for me right now. I'm trying to find the Lover's card because that one was a really pretty. Oh wow! Look at the High Priestess. Wow, how gorgeous is that? So yeah, that's The Witch's Tarot by Alan Duggan. I think I paid about £17 for it on Amazon, which was expensive for me because I usually buy things that used, but obviously with the tarot deck I like to have a new one. I do like second-hand tarot decks, but for me personally they take a lot of cleansing before I can use them, so yeah. The second one I wanted to show you was the Wildwood Tarot. This is by Mark Ryan, who wrote the book, and John Matthews as well, who I think co-wrote the book. And then the art of the cards themselves is done by an artist called Will Worthington. Will Worthington used to be very involved with the Druid Order that I'm a member of, the Order of Bards, Ovates and Druids in the UK. I don't know if he still is, to be honest with you. I have a funny feeling he may have sort of, not left the order, but taken a back step. I don't think he's as involved with it as he used to be. And the Wildwood Tarot has a beautiful, as you might expect with such a name as the Wildwood Tarot, the Wildwood Tarot has a beautiful earthy, nature-focused, almost primal look to it. And all the cards have other names as well. Instead of the traditional pentacles, wands, swords, and what the other one is, I can't remember. Wands, swords, cups, and pentacles. Instead of that, the Wildwood Tarot has different suits. It has stones, bows, vessels, and what's the other one? What's the other one? Arrows. So you literally have bows, arrows, vessels, and stones, which I think really really fits with the Wildwood theme. The backs of the cards are just not particularly interesting. To be honest, they're just green, like a beautiful British racing green, I guess you might call that. However, I don't think that takes away from the cards whatsoever. Like I said, the cards also have sub-names. So in this one, the Ten of Vessels, which would be equivalent to the Ten of Cups, this one is also called Happiness, as you can see on the bottom there, and I just love the artwork. Again, I can look at this card and immediately grasp what this card is trying to communicate to me. I don't have to think too hard to figure it out. But that said, even though it's very obvious on first watch, your intuition can still dig in a little bit and find deeper meanings within those. Take, for example, I think this is meant to be like the equivalent of the High Priestess or something. This is the Green Woman. I love this card. This is the Sun of Life. Again, just really, really beautiful symbolism, which I really enjoy. I actually listened to this OBOD, the Order of Bards, Oaths and Druids, OBOD for short, have a podcast that is hosted by the popular British pagan musician Dave the Bard. I don't know if some of my American counterparts will be aware of him, but he is an absolutely fabulous pagan musician. I've been lucky enough to meet him on a number of occasions. He's a very, very nice man. So is his wife. I've met them at a couple of OBOD gatherings and conventions. They recently came to Wales for the first time ever, so it was very nice to see them on home turf. And he did an interview with the artist who produced the Wildwood Tarot shortly before it was actually released. So that was really, really interesting. If you haven't heard of it, it's Druidcast. I think if you go to OBOD's website, which is www.druidry.org, you can find a link to it on there. It's worth a listen if you enjoy sort of pagan internet radio and that sort of thing. It really is an interesting read. It's very British, and it's quite Druid focused, but Druid in the sense of not Druid in the sense of like the ritualistic sort of sense. Druid in the sense of the open nature spirituality sense. So if you're a pagan of any path, I think you'd really enjoy it. So have a listen to Druidcast. If I can, I'll put a link in the down bar to Druidcast so you can have a look if you'd like. Anyway, going back to the deck, it comes with this book. The book isn't especially colourful. It's mostly green toned, which you'd expect. It sort of fits in well with the mood of the deck. There's some talk of the Wheel of the Year, that some way of trying to, how to read best, rituals perhaps for using the deck, and how to ask the questions of the deck, which I think every tarot book has to a point. But one thing I do like is they have little quotes before like all the chapters, and my favourite one, which is actually the motto I'm kind of trying to live by right now, is, it says, Part 1, Into the Green, an introduction by Mark Ryan. The best advice I ever got about tarot was, read the book, meditate with the cards, then put the book away and do your own thing, which is what I'm trying to do right now. So, this is what I bought more recently. I don't actually know when this came out off the top of my head. But it's, if you have a Celtic spin to your practice, I think you'd really enjoy this tarot deck, so have a look. So that's that one. Again, before I show you this deck, I'm just going to go into a little bit of background about my own personal path without going too long, because this is already 15 minutes nearly. My path is a blended path, and what I mean by that is I don't really come down on one side of a fence. I would not say that I am Wiccan. I would not say I'm 100% Wiccan. I wouldn't say I'm 100% Druid. I wouldn't say I'm 100% traditional witch. But at the same time, I'm not comfortable using the term eclectic. I used it for so many years, and it never really Not that I want to label myself, but it never really ticked all the boxes for me, and it wasn't something that I could identify with. As weird as that sounds, who can't identify with the label of eclectic, right? But I think as I'm getting older, I moved on a little, and I wanted more of a grasp on what my path actually was. So through that, I've sort of come to Druidcraft. Druidcraft is a practice that several people that I know of in OBOD follow. The term itself, Druidcraft, was coined by Philip Carr-Gomm, who is a very respected British pagan author. He's also the chosen chief of OBOD at the moment, and I think he's actually some kind of psychologist as well. I think that's his day job. So, yeah. And what Druidcraft is in a nutshell, because I could do a whole video on what Druidcraft is and isn't. Druidcraft in its basis form is a blending of Wicca and Druidry. I know that sounds kind of strange, but when you look into it in more detail, the two paths are actually very similar. Gerald Gardner, the man who invented, well not invented, but the man who sort of founded Wicca in Britain, if you will, was very close friends with a man named Ross Nichols, who, incidentally, was the first ever chosen chief of OBOD. So they were close friends, they had many similar interests, they had many spiritual and theological discussions. So, it does, when you look into it a little more deeply, and there's actually a book called Druidcraft by Philip Carr-Gomm that you can get. There's also a beautiful audiobook version. So yeah, that's basically my practice as I see it at the moment. So with that in mind, I have the Druidcraft Tarot. It says, use the magic of Wicca and Druidry to guide your life, and the one thing about this deck that everybody comments on is that the cards are huge. And I mean they're really big. Let me just show you. Let me just take the box off. Again, it's got an absolutely beautiful book. This is also done by Will Worthington, by the way, the same artist who did the Wildwood Tarot. And let me just show you the size of these cards. Because they are pretty huge. I can't get them all out. There we are. Why is there always one awkward one? Come on, you silly bugger. Just one moment. See, I'm wasting valuable talking time now, fiddling with the card box on YouTube, when I should really edit this out, but as promised I won't edit it. Okay, so yes, this is the Druid Card Tarot. Backs of the cards are equally not very interesting, but the cards themselves are very, 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 very pretty. Again, with a very Celtic sort of twist, and these do stick to the somewhat more traditional suits. This is the Ace of Wands. How gorgeous is this artwork? And these cards are huge. I don't have. Let me just find one of the Witch's Tarot cards to do a direct comparison, because you will not believe how big these cards are unless you see it next. This is a standard size tarot card. This is a Druidcraft tarot card. So you can kind of see that they're pretty big. Some people hate it, some people love it. I have small hands, so I hate it and love it in equal measure. However, if you have long fingers or you have big hands, and you find traditional tarot decks a little small, and you end up dropping the cards all over the place, like I sometimes do, then I think you will find this a refreshing change. I'm looking for a particular card to show you. Here we are. These two cards in particular would be absolutely beautiful to use on your altar as god and goddess representations. If you do that, I know some people use tarot cards to do that instead of statues or candles or whatever. Okay, so these two I picked up for that reason. This is the Lord, which is an excellent representation, I think, of Herne the Hunter, or Cernunnos. There's the Lord, and then this is the Lady. I can't actually see myself now, so I have no way of knowing whether you can see this straight, but I hope you can. Which I think is just absolutely beautiful. And I think together these would be a beautiful addition to any altar. There. Also in that vein, there's another 2 cards, the High Priest and the High Priestess, which equally to me are equally beautiful. This is the High Priest. I love that he's doing the hand gesture. I can't remember what the name of it is now. I did know, which is the symbol for the horn god, but it's also the symbol for rock music. I just think that's great. And then the High Priestess, which is a little more weather worn, but still beautiful. To me, this is what witches look like in their natural habitat, which is obviously outside. So yeah, so that's the this is the Druidcraft Tarot. As I said, I'm still learning about this, but if you would like a tarot reading with me, feel free to have a look at my Etsy shop. That said, I need the practice, so if money is tight right now and you don't feel you can afford to buy a reading, but you'd still like one from me, I may offer a very limited number of free readings based on those who need them the most. So if you do need a tarot reading and you can't afford to pay for one right now, or you think it would be a stretch to pay for it, but you still feel like you need some guidance, then message me either on YouTube or if you're on my Facebook, you can do that too, or even through my website if that's easier for you. Message me, let me know your situation, and I don't need a full story, just a very brief thing of what's going on with you right now, your situation, the reason you're asking for a free reading, and if I can, I will do one for you. But that would be a very limited offer, so please, if I get 100 requests, I can't possibly do 100 requests. Not when that could be £500 of money. But I will consider each case on an individual basis. So if you feel you need a reading and you're broke, like me, drop me a message and I'll see what I can do. No promises, but I'll see what I can do. And if I can fit you in, then fine, I will fit you in. Because I'm a generous person and I like to help others where I can. So that was my little video on my 3 favourite tarot decks. I'm going to finish this video now. I may tidy up the bit behind me a little, and then I have some more videos I'd like to talk about. Some videos I'd like to talk about? No. Some more videos I'd like to do. So I'm going to get on with rendering this and uploading it, and I'm going to clean behind there a bit, and then I'll be back with another video. So thank you for watching. Blessed be and have a wonderful day. Bye bye.